And welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live show and the after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, which is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not logged into Stunt Hangar or if you're not a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunt Hangar will not approve you. Now, if you're approved, but you're more comfortable watching us on YouTube than coming into the gallery, I understand. But if you have any questions or comments, you can enter them in the chat box right over here. I do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. So please do that. And I actually enjoy hearing from you in the audience as well as those that are in the gallery. So please do that. Now, the only thing is you only can do that during the live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch and be part of the live stream, okay? Now, if you find the Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, share the videos, comments on the videos help the Stunt Hangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunt Hangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account each and every month. It's been now running 3 years and 9 months, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't miss it either. And there's 2 tiers above that. So if you're more fortunate and can afford to do more to help us out, I greatly appreciate it. Now, if you don't want to do the monthly subscription, now mine comes out at the end of the month. But if you don't want that, then do the super chat, which is located right below the chat box right over here where I'm pointing. And hopefully you'll donate in line with what you're receiving. I can't imagine you not getting a lot of help. So I've gotten a lot of help before I even became the host. I was in the audience. So please do that. And then if you are watching this as a replay, because this show will be live once and it just keeps playing on YouTube. If you do that, make sure you look at the bottom of the screen. There's these 3 dots. Hit those 3 dots and a menu will pop up. And then hit the super thanks. I think it's a heart with a $sign in it. And there you can donate there. And please, again, donate inclined to what you're receiving as far as value. If you find it valuable, the information, please donate inclined. And the $4.99 a month, that's like going to Starbucks or Better Buzz or Better Bean or wherever you go for your coffee and getting one of their concoctions. So it's not a lot we're asking. Please do it. I'm doing it, so I'm not asking you to do something I'm not doing myself. Now, if you have any questions or comments for the show regarding me, please go to my YouTube channel because this is Sparky's YouTube channel. So go to Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. Just like what I do, I fly control line stunt. And if you would locate the video, which is the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is the video that Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL, which is beautiful, beautiful plane in my opinion, and it's light. And it was a bucket day for me because actually I only dreamed of going to the Nationals, and here I am at the U.S. Nationals, the AMA Nationals, and I have a beautiful plane, Sparky's, and I'm flying there. So check it out and comment there. I'd appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments, please go there as well. And if you do like my channel, if you like, please give it a like. Please consider sharing. Please consider subscribing, and I'd greatly appreciate that. Oh, one thing I want to mention, when you're a member of our YouTube channel, besides supporting us, you're going to get access to member-only videos, which you only can view if you are a member. There are some shows I've done that have been earmarked for members only. There's some shows, some construction series that Sparky has done that are earmarked for members only. So you'll get something in return, and I think it's well worth it. So I've been doing it for 3 years, 9 months, and counting. So please do that. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, and I'm going to post a link at Stunt Hangar Forum now. Let me go there right now. And let me see here. I'm going there. I have 3 monitors I use to do the show. And so let me go there. That's why you see me moving around. Let me go to now what I call the control panel. Oops, let me do this here. Just a second, bear with me. All right, great. There we go. Let me click that. All right, good. Let me close this to save some of my resources, and making our way to the control panel. And it looks like we are streaming. All right, very good. And let me make my way to the control panel and see what's happening there. All right, fantastic. Hope everybody had a good week going into the weekend. I actually, not too bad. I flew today and I flew yesterday as well. Yesterday by myself using my Stooge. And today I had 2 of my flying buddies there, Carl Reed, who's a regular in our gallery, and Stuart Mossman, who I've been flying with for, I don't know, 8 years, I think. He's also a very good friend. He flies mostly combat. And let's see here. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights says, yo, thank you, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Appreciate that. Gary Sinclair, who is a member of our YouTube channel. I can tell by the moniker next to his name, and he's also a monitor for the channel. Excuse me. And let me get this out of my way. It's a little distracting. There we go. And then there's Marcel Legrand, who says, hi, Charles, and everyone at Stunt School. It's raining here, so just watching the GP yacht racing. All right, well, enjoy. Fantastic. And it looks like John Miller is making his way in here, and I look forward to conversing with him. Hey, John Miller's in the house.
How you doing, Cat?
I'm doing good, man. I was almost gonna call you because yesterday, in addition to, remember how we talked about I put the down incidents in my stunt trainer?
Yeah.
And improved. And you said I might want to put a little down in the elevator. I've heard that before too by other people. I think Jim Hoffman has also suggested that, and maybe even Joe Gilbert, and maybe even Dennis Adamison. I've been told that by others, but I did do that. I actually disconnected the clevis, and I lengthened it, and that pushed the elevator down. Yeah, so
yeah,
because this elevator horn is on top of the.
Oh, okay. So you had to lengthen it. Yeah,
I lengthened it, so it worked. It added, it didn't like dramatically change, but those 2 things in concert, the plane is, tracks pretty well. I mean, it doesn't track nothing like my SV11 or Strega did, but it's allowing me to. Your cat's tail is funny.
Yeah,
it allows me to at least not worry about where it's at. So I actually was working on some pullouts and maneuvers, getting them down lower, and just I don't have a whole lot to risk. This plane, I only have, a fraction of what I have invested in my other airplanes. So I still haven't dinged it up yet, but I hope to get low enough that I have a lot of almostes and get comfortable down there. That's my goal
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I have an old plane that was designed by a fellow here by the name of Bob Sugden. And Bob was pretty prolific. He was also a free fighter. And anyway, but he designed a plane way back in the 40s. And it almost looked like a combat fuselage, a little box fuselage on it.
Right.
And it had a rubber band on wing and it was, you popped it in the ground, the wing just flew off, kind of thing most of the time. It was hard. It was a hardy, rugged little airplane. And he always recommended I have one. I haven't done it yet. I really need to. But he said to get used to fly that sucker right down, and he used it for stunt training to help people get it down. Saw that Howard's in there. Hi, Howard.
Hi.
So anyway, yeah. So, well, I'm glad it worked out for you, Charles. It's probably not going to fly like a full-blown stunner, but it's flying a lot better for you, and that's good.
Yeah, it's at the point now where it flies. I think it flies good enough. It has one issue, which because before I started flying, I used to use it for trainers for kids and adults who wanted to try it. So it's been banged up a little bit. And matter of fact, one of the crashes put a dent in the back of the fuel tank, and I suspect that the fuel pickup is really close to the back because of the crater of the
Yeah.
collision. And I need to fix that because when it goes through certain maneuvers, it gets lean, and it almost the fuel like almost gets cut off, but it comes
Yeah.
back as soon as I keep moving. I need to fix that, and then it's going to be a pretty good flying plane. So that's the only which is a little bit inconsistent is the engine run does kind of wander a little bit. So
Well, it's easy to take the back of that tank off, and fix it.
you know what I was thinking about doing is I was going to unsolder the pickup tube and just pull it out just a little bit and then resolder it.
Oh, that's even easier. Wow.
Yeah, instead of taking off that cap, plus it's
Good idea.
It's painted, and it's going to require a lot of paint remover to get that rear cap off. So I could just work on where the pipe goes in, clean that up, scuff it up, and unsolder it, and just pull it forward.
Be careful because sometimes the end of the fuel pickup at the back of the tank is soldered to the peak.
Yeah, it might be because it is a uniflow tank, and so. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to tell making an attempt at least that way, and then if it doesn't look like it's going to move,
can you put an RC plastic tank in there?
I don't know if there's enough room. There might be enough room. I don't know. That's another consideration.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm using the LA-25, so I don't need a whole lot of.
No, it probably uses only about 2 ounces of fuel for the pattern.
Yeah, so it's something that's a possibility. I do have a clunk tank I could use. Pretty sure I have a small one.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, I've been working on the plans for the Trailblazer, and I'll show them a little later when there's more.
Okay, people. It's called a Trailblazer. I texted you. I don't know if you got my text, but I haven't complimented your blazer. I guess I should have said Trailblazer.
Oh, I thought you thought I got a new car, a new truck.
So it's a Trailblazer.
Yeah, it's a Trailblazer.
Oh, well, Chevrolet makes a Blazer and they make a Trailblazer. So either way.
Well, this is a synonym for Pathfinder.
Right.
They're very close to the same meaning.
Yeah, there is a slight resemblance.
It's so derived from the Pathfinder. I mean, there's a lot of Pathfinder influence because I was drawing it for Gordon, and then I drew the one I took to the 95 Nats, and this is based on the one I took to the 95 Nats. So
very nice. Let me say hi to Howard Rush. Hey, Howard, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
What are you up to?
I'm working on automobiles and things in the garage. I might install a light switch so I'll get one up on John. I can be electrocuted here on the Hangout.
There you go. We could watch it in
Please,
living color.
please don't do that. I'm sure John would not recommend it.
No, I don't recommend it.
No,
The effects linger on.
not at all. Not at all. Where's my? Oh, I'm trying to turn on my fan or something. I'm hot over here. Let me say hi to Ed Waskey. Hey Ed, how you doing?
Good evening, guys. I'm doing okay. And sorry I missed Monday. I just was tied up, but I was able to listen to it, and I missed an interesting one. And it's nice to hear people talking about, what are we going to do here in the future, and the immediate future to try to get things going and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's something we're definitely concerned about it because we know that we all love this hobby. Would like for it to continue on, and it's difficult
Yeah.
reaching young people for whatever reason. Kids are different, and the world's different than when we, because I heard it. I heard the model airplane when I was a kid, and I rode my bike. It tore that noise, and that's
Yeah.
when I discovered it. This gentleman named Shelby Hagberg was flying a Nobler, and that's how I was first introduced to it. But I
Yeah,
was
I bet.
motivated by the noise, but I don't think kids would be necessarily excited about. I mean, I've seen some little kids. I've had little kids, 2 and 3. They're jumping up and down with excitement when I'm flying, when their dad or mom brings them close to the circle, and they watch with extreme excitement. But unfortunately, I don't see them after that.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head Monday in regards to fun flies and how do you get the schools involved in things like that in the community. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to be pretty important. I'm going to try to share, if I did it right, my expo flyer and stuff.
All right.
So let me hit, no, wrong button. Let me find it wherever I put it. Let's see here. Well, I opened up the tab prior to coming on and I don't see it. I have to log into my computer. Oh, here we go. There we go.
All right.
All right. Now I got to hit screen share.
Very good. All right, Ed Waskey.
Yeah, how about that?
Look at that.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the new flyer for this August event. And I added a QR code. People were asking me about that. It takes us straight to the Facebook site. And what I'm trying to get across is to see at the bottom where it says start here,
Yeah.
pre-flight control line, radio control. Well, you can end up here.
Ah,
It's the whole idea of this.
Oh,
And
I see.
and then you've got pictures from past events and stuff
Yeah.
showing there. And major sponsors, anybody that has donated 2,000 or more goes down here. And then all the people that are really helping it make it happen is all up here and stuff.
that's a nice flyer.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
thank you. Yeah, one of the NASA engineers flies RC with me, and he helps support the event. And he said, "Well, heck, I can make you a flyer in a few minutes." And boy, I drew out what I thought we should do and sent him a bunch of pictures. And he spent about 40 minutes and sent this back, basically this back with very minor changes and stuff.
Wow.
A lot of times you go on the internet and you see all these events, you don't know where it's at. So I had to make sure I added WV for West Virginia and
Right.
that, and then the sports complex and stuff. So anyway, this is starting to get sent out to everybody, and I wanted to show it to you guys.
Hey, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Looks
So,
good to me.
You want to make it big, real quick, Ed? Can you enlarge it?
probably.
There's that
Hey,
right next to that X in the top right corner. Oh yeah, that might work too. See, try that.
how's
There you
that?
go.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, that helps. That helps.
That's it's as big as it can be on my screen.
That's fine. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Great.
so like I said, I mean, we've got to get them interested. I also I'm trying to help out middle schools, but you got to have a teacher that wants to help out. And I have a science teacher from one of the high schools, and I helped her in talking with the two colleges for flight lessons and for a mechanic, being an aircraft mechanic. She came and visited and brought people to see my facility and the schools. And she is developing her own science elective program for aviation for next year for 9th, 10th, and 11th graders and stuff.
Excellent.
But
Excellent.
she's using the information from our local businesses and schools to structure what is needed for this area. And
Oh, excellent.
yeah, they have just a basic program. Um, if you do a computer-based program, somebody else designed the program, you have to use that. She's designing from talking with all of us and what we tell her and send her, she's designing the program so anybody can pick up the book and get the portions or all of the portions of what you want to teach to the students. And we've been talking about trying to make some kind of a airplane contest also out of this in the future. So,
Wow.
nice to see all the other people trying to get things going. And it's getting the older out, it's getting the new out, and it's just going to take a lot of rattling the bushes.
Right. Yeah.
And
I think I think you've hit on a nail with the idea of getting teachers involved. I know in my area here out in Salt Lake area, some years back, I was president of the RC club at that time, and I was contacted if I could do a flying display at the school. And so I got to fly at a school. It was an elementary school. Had all the kids out there, and flew a control line, did a pattern, and then flew the RC plane. And
yeah,
a lot of questions, and they were, I mean, I don't know where those kids went with it from there, but the idea that you got and where that teacher has taken the initiative to set up a program, set up a teaching program, and set up the all of the information necessary is excellent.
yeah, thank you. I also do a summer camp at the sports complex where it's anywhere from 30 to 40 kids, where I do once a week something to do with aerospace, making gliders, things like that. And then the sports complex that also helps me out with the event, I do about 10 to 12 kids once a week where we actually build something. And after so many days, we go out and fly it or launch rockets and stuff. And that. So,
Very good. Very
you just
good.
got to keep at it. You never know who you're going to, turn the light bulb on
Yep.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
stuff. It was for me, age 6, built my dad bought my cousin a pre-flight airplane, and we sat down and built it, and I haven't stopped since.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it influenced you to get into the business you're in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and this is giving back. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just a crazy business. I hired 3 guys last week, so I'm probably up to about 22 personnel in the company, and
Okay.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
Very good.
yeah. Thank you.
I have a comment in the chat box by Total Tech Dad ? That's what Total Tech said. I'm not sure who that is. But anyways, thank you very much for typing that. Appreciate that. And Gary Sinclair, how you doing, Gary?
Very good.
What you been up to?
Finally got in.
Yeah, I saw your name for a while, but no image. So I'm glad you got in.
Yeah.
And then I think we had Brendan and Angstrom. Hey guys, what you guys up to?
Hey, how we doing, everybody? Today's one of those days where we had some decent weather just before a rain front came in, like right after work. So got the batteries charged up, and we got out to the field out in our backyard. And then it was just one thing after another that just went all wrong. We tried to get that hard point handle going. So then it made us so we had to. You talked about adjustable clips, but what we did is we started taking the line connectors, and I started like sizing it down to like smaller ones and stuff on the plane,
all right.
And going that route to adjust it. And then he didn't necessarily like the feel of the handle, so then we tried to switch back. But instead of having loops on those Spectra lines, I had them knotted right to the line clip, so I couldn't get the bigger clips back in there. So then we had to drag out new lines and get those done and formatted. So we probably spent a good hour out there and probably got about 5 minutes worth of flying.
Oh,
and then we broke some of the battery holder casing off the plane, so I had to get some CAA out for that. And it's just one thing after another. But he got a couple flights up on the Pathfinder. I got a couple of flights up, about 4 flights on my lightning streak. And then I don't know, we shut it down for the day, but it was just one of those days.
We've all had them. I think they're necessary, but that way we really enjoy the good days.
Right. Yeah. But the fortunate thing for us is at least all the things we need, since we fly in the backyard. I mean, we used to fly at Brodax, which is an amazing field. It's a luxury place, and it was 5 minutes down the road. But if you forgot something or something went wrong or you forgot a tool or something, pack up the car again and go get it. So it's at least a convenience to have it right here in my backyard that we can do.
Oh, that is a dream of mine, to have a circle in my backyard, kind of like Howard Rush. He has Circle 1 in his backyard, and he has that cement circle pad in the center. I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's funny, when we bought this house about 4 years ago, one of the first things we were looking at it, we had a set of lines with us, and we went out and scoped out it's a 5 acre house, but we scoped out the yard and are like, is there anywhere where we can fly here? And that's what ultimately sold the house. So.
Yeah, we actually have our priorities, right?
Right.
I went to the Chevrolet dealership with my airplane to make sure that I was looking at a Chevrolet SUV, and I wanted to make sure my plane would fit back there. So that's where my priority was in my vehicle. So what are we looking at? What is this?
So this is the Buster. If you all saw it before, we had my mother-in-law. She's the artist.
Nice. She sure is.
Yeah, so if you remember before, we had the copper-colored paint on it and stuff, and we're trying to seal that up. So it all went wrong with the polyurethane, but we stripped it all down again, started from scratch, and then put I guess what color is this? Sky blue?
Kind of bluish green.
Bluish green, real light color, and then mother-in-law painted it up again, and we did some test coats, so the polyurethane was good. And now we're starting to cover the wings and get all excitable for racing. So
very cool. Looks very cool.
And then I don't know if you can kind of see it in there. The 57.
Yeah.
What's significance of the 57? I don't know. Okay. I pushed it a little bit. I pushed it a little bit. Okay, it's got a keystone there for Heinz 57 since we're in the Pittsburgh area.
Oh, okay.
But also my mother-in-law, her birth year is 57, right? 1957?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, she put this on her grandson's plane, and it's got a little piece of her there with the 57. So
very good. Yeah, that's the year I was born,
all right.
Young kids.
So what are those wheels? Those wheels are a little bit different. I saw them when the plane was laying on its top. What kind of wheels are those?
Yeah, they're just some sort of solid. I don't know if they're wood or what they were, but we ended up, spray painting them as well. I know my lighting is always really bad as I'm trying to show that off. But yeah, I don't know. They're
Oh, okay, they're racing wheels. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
whatever was original with this plane, it was designed originally as a racing plane. When we picked it up, it had a racing motor or racing setup. So yeah.
Oh, here we go
Very
again.
cool. So those wheels
But
are plywood, laminated wood, or what?
There are some kind of, there's some
Yeah.
kind of rubber, actually.
you think it's rubber?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
They were made of a hard rubber back in the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yep.
All right. And then I think Stuart came in. Hey, Stuart, how's it going?
Hi. Yeah, not too much going on still.
That's okay. Don't feel bad about that. It's like this is a journey,
Yeah.
You don't have to have everything going on and have been flying or building. But if you have, if you have questions, that's also very helpful too. And those that are in the audience, if you have a question or want us to talk about something, or you have a curiosity or whatever, or a comment, or of something that's going on or it happened, let me know in the chat box and I'll share it with everybody else too. So no problem. And then we move on to Carl Reed. Hey, Carl, you recovered from our outing today?
Oh yeah, I did. Thank you. I didn't get much share time, but I got done what I wanted to get done, and like you said, whenever some things go wrong right after another, you appreciate the good days when you just fire the motor up and go in circles, right? So
Yeah, exactly. And then Tryon. Hey, thanks, Tryon. Thanks for coming in. And what you been up to?
Nothing since last time I was here.
Okay, that's
Same
fine.
old. Same old.
That's
Tomorrow
fine.
I want to go out, and tomorrow I want to sneak out and get some make a new nose for the other plane to repair it, and I'm gonna start to repair it and get it up and fly.
Very good. Very, very cool. Very good.
Hey, I got a message for Tryon, or a question for Tryon.
All right.
Tryon, on OnShape, when you log in originally, you have to set defaults. And so the one was asking about how accurate you want to be. In other words, I put inches there, and it wanted to know, I guess, to what decimal point.
Yes, that has to do with your drawings. When you make a drawing and you put dimensions on it, how
So,
accurate do you want them? So whatever you want to put it there, you can always change it.
okay. So what should I be using though? It started out with, I think, 0.123, and then it
So that
was,
means 3 decimal points.
that's what I thought.
That's
Yeah.
a
Do you use 1, 2, or 3 decimal points then?
Depends what you need. I mean, you make something that's very high precision and it needs to have a good fit. You need more
Yeah.
precision.
Okay.
If you want to measure something with your tape measure or something like that,
Yeah.
then perhaps 2 decimal points will work too, or even 3 if you want to see the eighth and a half and whatever the
Okay.
3/8.
I'll go back in and find
3 is
where to
fine.
readjust that then.
3 is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I changed it to, I think, point. I think I changed it to a tenth maybe and stuff, but I was thinking after I did it, I couldn't go back to the screen. So I'll find out how to do it and I can Google it and that. So anyway, thank you.
You're welcome. John, you were saying something?
Oh, I was just saying, I do it in thousands when I do a drawing, because I'm building model airplanes. We can't really hold much more than in the thousands, and building them. It's kind of go try to get. Now, if you're machining them and you got a good machine in a machine shop, yeah, you can go to wherever you can go. But for hand building, especially, even laser cutting and putting together, if you can stay within 10 or 20 or 30 thousandths, you're doing outstanding.
Yeah, that's very tight, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now a hair is about 3/1000 of an inch, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, is that about right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty accurate.
Well, it might depend on the hair.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, do you have any hair to pull out to measure?
A mustache.
Well, it hurts to pull them out of there.
Yeah, mustache hair. And it looks like Philip Bailey's in the house. Hey, Philip, how you doing? Oh, you're muted, buddy.
Yeah, doing well. How about everybody else?
Doing well. Doing
Yep.
well.
Surviving.
It's been a weird week, but anyway, we made it through it. Land sakes. It looks like John's got his computer working and working well for a change. Cool
Yeah.
deal.
I
Got a
know.
new one.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, John looks good. He's really crystal clear, and his voice is clear. So
So now you can see how ugly I really am.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think you're ugly. I don't think
Trayan looks like he's walking through the house. What's going on, Trayan?
Hey,
Moving
hey,
cap.
John. As long as you don't break the camera, you're okay, buddy.
Yeah, I think you're right. It
There
is
you go.
stuttering though. The light's blinking a little.
Huh.
Well-
Philip, this week, Dennis Adamison was in town. He was visiting his wife's aunt, and so he texted me, and we got together. It was great to have Dennis Adamison in town.
That's cool.
Joe and I took him to the same place we took you to, the BJ's restaurant.
Yeah.
Had a good time. And he didn't see our flying field, but I drove by and pointed it. But he went over to Joe Mata's house and gave him some input on the electric airplanes that he has. And
Yeah.
I brought him over here, and he saw my shop and all that. So it was kind of nice. It was actually
Well,
very
one thing
nice.
about it, if Dennis don't know how to fix it, if it's electronic, Dennis don't know about it, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. So that
Give
was
up and start again.
a lot of fun.
Well,
think
I
he's
thought
on
I
his
was
way.
going to get my 11 back together, but the 3mm screws are about, well, 2 or 3 millimeters too short.
Oh,
I built the front end up and I built it a
Right.
little bit too big. So I forgot, instead of using 3/32 for a motor carrier, I used 1/8, and I didn't think about it. And then I didn't think that'd be enough to make a difference, but the other had crushed and this isn't crushed. So I'll go get some new screws in the morning, have it back together, get it together by tomorrow night.
that's all you need to
Oh,
That's
shit.
it. The screws to put it back together is it. She's ready to go. We'll get it all back together and get it looking like an aeroplane.
Are you going to put any incidents in the motor?
It's got just about a 1/2 degree of up, and that's it. That's
All right,
it. Everything else is 1-to-1. I took Bob Hunt, literally took him serious. And there is a little bit of out thrust, but it's not even a degree. And there's a little bit of up thrust, but it's not a degree. I
Right.
just remember there is a little up, a little right. Just as Bob says, just enough out thrust to ensure there's no in thrust.
Right.
But
Mine
it's
has I have
not
the
much. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have the same thing. I basically have a washer on the bottom, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, the top.
Yeah. Well, the washer would be on the bottom to give it up thrust. But I use a counter rotating prop. You probably
So
use
do
a
I.
normal one.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I use counter rotating prop.
Okay, so if you got a counter rotating prop, the washers need to be on the bottom to tilt the engine up.
All right. Yeah, whatever I need is what I have.
Yeah. Well, I got the same thing. I got the same. That's what I have. It's just, I'm just hoping it flies near as good as it did before, because this was I was stunned how well this thing flew. It turned so tight. The first time I tried to do a triangle with it, I was absolutely stunned. I almost changed directions completely. It really surprised me how
Oh,
fast it
wow.
turned.
Yeah, that can be very surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I went to turn outside, it did the same thing outside. So I was really pleased, but really stunned. It turned harder than anything I've flown in a while, and noticed it was a little bit tail heavy. But I said, it's not enough to worry about. And the way that thing turns, and it turns predictable, and you can get it back, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Now,
So
just
I
for our
did.
audience, what made you suspect that it's a little bit tail heavy?
It just turned so hard. I wanted to check, make sure, what the heck, did I do something different and do something wrong? So I went back and checked the instructions. Jack, please get down. There you go. I went back and checked the instructions to see where it's supposed to balance, and I checked the balance, and it was about I think it was 3/16 further back than what it's supposed to be, which is not much. But I put it right on where it's supposed to be, and it slowed it down enough that I put it back where it was. It's just so nice to have something with just power steering. But anyway, it's a really good flying airplane. I hope I can get it back to that. We'll see.
I hope so too.
Yeah. The SV11s are amazing. I have an SV11 with a Tiger 60. I have an SV22 wing. I've never finished the airplane, but I have one. And then I have this SV11 ARF. And
When was the last time you flew the Revolutions, Phil?
Been about 3 months. By the time it got really cold. I'm not gonna fly Revolutions until I can get through a pattern with a regular airplane, Trey. The last time I was gonna fly it is when I stuck this one. The day I stuck this one, I hooked the wires up backwards.
Oh, geez.
That's a long story. It wasn't just me going out there and hooking them up backwards. I only take off one clip, but somehow the clip got taken off the down line and put on the up line. So when I hooked my lines up, they were backwards. That supposedly can't happen, but it happened. So anyway, long story short, it kind of broke my heart a little bit, but I said, I can replace an 11. I cannot replace Revolutions. So I'm going to leave it alone till I fly a little bit, but it's sitting downstairs ready to go.
Very good.
Hoping to get back down to Atlanta and fly with that guy. He's polishing everything up. Looks like he's getting ready to build him a new one.
You're going to build a new nose.
Yeah, put a bunch of coats on these molds and of wax. But I read somewhere that if you heat up the molds at about 200 degrees with a wax on, I think the wax thins out and dives in better in impurities and nicks and crannies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope it works.
So I'm pretty sure the aluminum is not going to be hurt if I heat it up a little bit now.
No, that aluminum is not going to be hurt. I don't know about that stuff the wing's made on though.
Yeah, but that should be fine.
Oh yeah.
So
one thing I can guarantee you, he'll figure it out. He's pretty smart cookie. He's pretty smart cookie. A little crazy, but very smart.
Yeah,
you know what? I went nuts today at work. Yeah, I had pistachios.
Oh Lord. Okay. Trying one thing I found out, a little craziness just keeps you from going insane.
You need it.
I do need it.
Oh yeah, John.
This week I need a lot.
Whenever you're ready, I've got that ready to go up.
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
yeah, that is nice. God, that is so nice.
I put a lot of time in it, but it is coming along. This is the profile version. There will be a full fuselage and that, but here's kind of something that I do. Not everybody does, but I do it.
Plan sheet.
Oh, come on. I got to go back to the regular one. I can't. Well, let me see. Let me go.
He does a plan sheet like nobody does. Part sheet.
Yeah, there's the wing.
Very
That
nice.
is nice.
You notice, see the little swept forward on the trailing edge?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I
And
like
you also
that.
notice the shape of the flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
I'm
nice.
looking, John. I see. Nice.
The tips are laminations.
Uh-huh.
And I've got it, I'm showing hollowing out the inboard because that's where, oh, it's just, I gotta do this. Duh. That's, you know, that doesn't need any extra weight there. All right. But over here on the outboard, it's optional.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying to save wood to a degree. If a person has the wood and they want to, they can. I would recommend using this tip, this and this would be 3/4 of an inch piece of block, on each side. And you can thin it down. I've shown with the dotted lines here,
Right.
how it would work. But the other one over here, I've showed the dotted lines are showing the original shape of the laminations. And I've gone a little different way here. I put a 1/16 inch lamination, or is it 1/16? I think it is. No, it's 1/32. 1/32 top and bottom for the lines, the lead outs to go through. And then a 3/32 piece top and bottom here. And the 3/32 goes all the way to the back, but there's lightning holes all in this section. I'll show you that here in a second.
That is sharp, John.
Yeah, thanks. Get this up. Okay, you can see here's the inboard side.
Yeah, I see the holes now.
See, and
Oh, yeah.
so there's 1/8 balsa, one 1/32 ply, and one 3/32 balsa on top of that, so that it all comes out level for the 3/8 inch pieces. That's these pieces here to go on to make the laminations. And I don't know if this is gonna, if I'm right on this or not, but I'm trying something to put more area of the flap closer to the fuselage. That's why I made that bend in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works. It works.
Yeah, I think it might be a good thing. My head tells me it's a good thing.
If you decrease the loading further out, then it doesn't tend to twist the flap as much.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then here's something I think this is something that Howard might enjoy. This is how I lay my belt crank out. You notice it's far enough forward that I don't have to crank the. I mean, there's a little chance for a little error in it by using a straight forward and back, but it's so close to the center of the belt crank, to the center where the lead outs come out. It's just a very shallow line there. Yeah. That I kind of figured out how come I'm getting away with it, but Howard's got that cranked belt crank thing going. You must run do you run your CG back a little further than I'm showing here, Howard?
Well, I don't see how that matters. You've got to account for all the lead up positions.
Yeah.
And cut a chunk out of each rib for all the lead up positions. And you're not moving your bell crank very far. It looks like you're only moving it plus or minus 45 degrees.
That's right. I really don't believe you get much more than that if you got your control set up.
Well, okay.
Howard and I could go on a long time about this, but
Well, you see, I did a program on that a few weeks ago.
What did you come up with, Howard?
Well, look at the program and you'll see.
Well, I just thought we'd get an answer like 50, 60 degrees, 70 degrees.
I use almost 90. You don't want it to go over center, so put a stop on it so it doesn't go over center.
Right.
Mine's about plus 90.
Wow. Well,
That's with a 4-inch bell crank. Use a 5 or a 6-inch bell crank. You don't need to move it as far.
okay.
Whichever makes the smallest swath in the wing.
Whoops, come back here.
Marcel Legrand says that Trailblazer looks awesome, John.
It
Dylan,
does.
thank you.
It does. It really
Thank
does.
you, Marcel Legrand.
How many
Oh.
years has this been in the making? Oh my golly.
I started last year.
Wow. Amazing.
John, have you got the electric fuselage done yet?
No, I've been
Okay.
still working on the IC fuselage. Dang it. I got a real sensitive mouse here and it causes me problems.
Time for a new mouse.
Yeah.
They're adjustable.
Are they?
Yeah. Big program them. I don't know how, but
Oh, I tell you, there. So anyway, it's not going to use this block for the landing gear, just because it's heavy and clunky and things like that. And I'm planning on mounting the gear right. You see where my pointer is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right there, right across, right behind the spar area, right in there. And I'm gonna do it with I think Bobby Hunt does this 1/8-inch ply and 2-piece 1/8-inch ply and then a cap with balsa on it so you can match the airfoil. He uses two screws. Go back here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I'll leave it there. Go back to the fuselage. Okay, so on the fuselage, this is for the laser cutter. These files.
Oh, look at that.
Just set up that I've got one 30-inch piece of balsa and four 24-inch pieces of balsa, and that's, like I say, that's for the laser cutter. That'll be a DXF file. Now, here's the pattern sheets.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've left these in here because obviously the wing has got to go into here too. Okay, but I'm recommending that if you want, see, you put depending on the engine you put in here, if it's a real vibrator, this is for the IC version. It's a real vibrator. You got to have some strength up there. And I'm taking my lessons from how Dick Mathis did his Excalibur, where it was all balsa in the nose, and but it was running on average. It was running a OS 35S. It was actually the normal power that it would have, and that's a little bit of a vibrator, but not as bad as some. But anyway, so I'm going to have a piece of one of the laminations will be 1/16-inch ply. That'll be right next to the main block for the fuselage, and then these other pieces go out, and you can see this wheel gets me every time. Okay, you can see when we get over here, you can see how the lamination, we had to stage these out to make sure this is the optional of this. And I think that between the two of them, this one might be a little more twist resistant, but I think you'd have to really hate yourself to do it that way. It's not an easy way to do it because you've got a lot of shaping to do, and it happens basically between, get down here, between station
Between
G and this station right here, J.
Yeah.
And that's where that shape would come in. Here back here, you'd start to flatten out a little bit to blend into the stab post.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love this. Norm Whittle showed me this, and I know if somebody else developed it, but I love that way to.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for showing that too. That's really neat. Yeah, Dennis Nunes showed me that.
Yeah, and it just works so nice. I've got it up here with all the parts that's going to go in there, and I've laid out the main gear, and so it's nice to be. I wish I could. Well, when you add it, when you add it that to the removable gear, you can make some major adjustments in your
Yes.
your gear and how high it sits and things like that. You can make a set of gear a little taller and put a little bit bigger wheel. This is a 2¼ inch wheel, but you can make a slightly bigger wheel for grass work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This has got a little lower looking profile, a little more racy looking than the Pathfinder,
Right.
in my opinion. I talked to Gordy about it, and he hasn't seen this yet. He's probably going to watch it tomorrow. We might be watching it on the feed. But I really like the looks of it. When I get done with this, the profile version, I will then go ahead and it's just going to take some changes. Everything, the wing, stab, rudder, and all that are the same. The gear will be the same. All of that. It's just a matter of making up a new fuselage. And I'm going to approach it from a different way. I'm going to make the nose a lot lighter because I've got that battery going to go up here. And so that's the thinking on that. When it comes to the full body will have, I'm tempted to use molded 1/16 inch, about 8 to 12 pound balsa and mold it. And, but I don't know. That's just something I'm thinking about. Bob told me about molding it, and to keep away from that starved horse look is you put not poly. It's an epoxy, but it's not epoxy. It's
the finishing resin.
Finishing resin on the inside.
Z-epoxy.
Z-epoxy on the inside, and that stiffens it up so that when you glue it onto the formers that you have, it's a lot stronger, and the shrinkage of the dope doesn't give you that starved horse look. Because in my opinion, take a beautiful airplane out and it sits out there and it keeps gassing off and gassing off. Pretty soon it looks like it's got every rib sticking out and everything. It didn't look good. So anyway, so that's where it's at. It's getting closer. I expect a week and a half, I should have this done. And then from that point, I don't know how soon I'll get on the electric version of the profile. It might not take too long, and I might just go ahead and get that, but then I'm going to start building and get one of them flying before I go to the full body. There's a couple of interesting things on this. I use the weights and measures, balancing the moments or summing the moments, and found out I had to extend the nose a little less than an inch to get from the estimated weights of all of these things on here. So I did that, and I've been close when I've done it before, but I want to build one and make sure it's close. I don't want to have something so heavy here. Oh, I started talking about big vibrating engines. May not want to do any hollowing in it anywhere in here, but some that may not pound so bad, you might want to do that. That'd be an option. So anyway, there's another interesting thing about these plans. I mean, I have drawn these. I had a fellow from the United Kingdom send me an email once, and he was building, I think, a profile pathfinder. And we here in America, we draw our drawings on 36-inch wide paper. Well, in the countries that use a metric system, they don't. It's very hard for them to get paper 36 inches wide. It's not a standard width. 34 inches is a standard width. Is that right, Morris? Or Tryon? I don't think you heard.
You might not hear over his hair dryer. He's using a heat iron.
Well, yeah. But so he asked me if I would please consider drawing my plans on for 34-inch paper. You just have a wider margin on 36. And so I've been doing that. And this drawing between the top and bottom lines is 33 inches. So that there's an inch around it, all the way around it. Come back here. So that's the where the Trailblazer is at this point. It's getting real close now, guys. So
wow,
and thank you for your kind comments, especially.
We have some more for you, John. Buddy Barty says yes, the Trailblazer really looks good. Then T-Bone 1260. That's Tom. He says great looking plane, John. And then Yojin says it looks good. And then RBB says this plan is available for downloads? ?
It will be when I get it finished. I've got about a week and a half to go to finish this drawing, and then I've already promised it to 2 people. So that's my feeling is, when I do a drawing, I put a lot of hours in it and try to do a good job.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Thank you.
It is.
But
it sure makes it easy to build. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah. So I don't ask for a payment. I ask for a donation, possibly, if you can afford it. If you can't, that's fine. I've sent lots of them out for free, but a little donation would help once in a while. But whatever you feel is worth to you, that's all I'm asking for. And
okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to hold anybody up, and I send it out as a PDF file, so you can take it to your local printer and have them print it full size. And you hang on that PDF, you can print as many as you want. I just don't want you selling them,
Right.
And things like that. It's don't give, I'll give them to your friends rather, unless, I pass away, then you guys have fun.
You better not.
I'm hoping I've got another 10 years or more. So, okay, guys, that's it. Any questions, anything?
I have a question, John. That rudder is adjustable. So can you go over that part?
Oh, okay. Let me zoom in on it here. This is something Gordon taught me. I didn't want that to pop up. The rudder is adjustable. It's ground adjustable. If you find you want to put a ray rudder on it, you'll have to get away with it. You see those little copper tubing there?
Oh, so it's copper tubing?
Copper or brass, either one, but copper is a little softer. But the brass is a little stronger, so it holds the setting a little bit. But you embed those into the tail post here on the rudder and in the fuselage. There should be a post there. I'm not showing that. A good thing I went and looked at that. And into the rudder. Now then you can just bend it, set it where you want, take it out, fly it. If you need more, if you need less, if you need to put it the other way because you got a wildly warped fuselage, I don't know. I'm just joking on that, guys. But anyway,
I'm laughing inside, John.
Yeah, okay. So that's how that works.
All right.
You see here, oops. I've got 1 degree of upthrust on the stab.
Okay.
That's a lot, but that's
And-
that's the smallest I can show there. What Fancher, not Fancher, Fitzgerald recommended in his article was to take a piece of 64th inch plywood, a little strip,
Plywood.
put it underneath there just to lift it up that height. That's what.
What if you're using an electric version? What if you're using a pusher prop?
Well, then you would go the other way. Instead of down thrust on the front. What are you gonna say?
No, on the stab. I'm talking about on the stab.
You know, I don't know for sure. I would
I would think
probably.
you'd keep it as is.
You think you'd keep this positive on there?
I
would
left
think so.
positive in mine. I left
I would think
positive in
so.
mine, and it works great.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead, Howard.
Yeah, I got an impact and positive worked with that. Well,
Okay,
actually, a downrig on the elevator worked with that, the same as on a regular prop, but it doesn't make any sense to me. So
yeah.
try twice and see what happens.
Well, yeah. Well, that's good to know that the experience of people means a lot. But I would say that instead of the down thrust on the engine thrust line, you'd go the same amount of up thrust on there so that you get rid of your what is it called? Precession.
Gyroscopic precession.
Yeah.
It depends on what.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What's that down thrust do? Does it counter the gyroscopic thing, or does it blow over the top of the wing and do something? It's yeah.
You know more about aeronautics than I do, Howard.
Well, I don't know the answer to this question.
Okay, well, what I've come to understand is that the down thrust on a normal rotating engine, there's two things happening. There's the gyroscopic precession, and then the blade that's turning up or coming up has more bite into the oncoming stream of air as it's flying through. It's taking a bigger bite of that air than the descending blade.
Oh,
that's your gyroscopic precession. It's 90 degrees out of phase. It's like you ever held a bicycle wheel by the axle with both hands and have somebody spin it and then try to turn it, and it wants to flop on its side.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, John, that's mass inertia.
Yeah,
that creates the gyroscopic precession, not the fact that it's taking more air or less air. It's the same like the bicycle has mass to it, right? And when it spins in one direction, you go like this, it wants to rotate, right? So put your nose up that way, because you fly like this, right?
Flying level.
So you're flying level, and the prop rotates that way, right? So when you fly level and you are rotation around the axis around your body, right? The plane has a tendency, because gyroscopic precession, to pull the nose up, right?
Right.
And you try to correct it and pulls the nose up, and just this gyro precession. So if you put a little bit of angle down, you counteract this.
Right.
That's what the gyroscopic precession is. It has nothing to do with it's just mass inertia of the weight of the prop.
Well, you're probably right, but I've had it explained to me several times, and so let's just say I'm getting older, so perhaps I've got it wrong.
Yeah, well, there's stuff going on there, John.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff, and it is a fact that that blade, the ascending blade, is getting more air than the descending blade. But what that's doing is causing problems. Nonetheless, I found that down thrust, like Bob Whiteley in his article said, down thrust and a little up thrust in the stab really works. Bob Whiteley liked a little more out thrust, but like Ted Fancher, and I just heard it said here, Bob Hunt both say just enough out thrust to make sure you don't have any in thrust.
Mm-hmm.
And I go by that same feeling too. I don't want big out. Thanks for turning that off for me,
Charles, no problem.
The out thrust, when you got large amounts, it helps in some respects, but it hurts you in other areas. And if you get the plane to trim to where it is almost flying straight, parallel, or at a perpendicular, I would think, would be matching the pressures on the nose, because it's actually yawed out. The tail is yawed out. When you look at when it's on a circle, where there's a tangent to a circle. So anyway, I'm getting further out where nobody cares.
Oh, no worries. Hey, all I can tell you is that I put some down thrusts in my stunt trainer lately, and it tracked much better. So it works in all accounts as far as I'm concerned. Let me bring in Mark Wise. Before I bring in Mark Wise, let me show Mark Wise something. Make myself big. Look what I got in the mail this week.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is Rick's Huff's Blair. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
That is a neat looking airplane.
That is a wonderful flying airplane. If any of you, I don't know if Howard's had a chance to fly it or.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Tom Hunt's flying airplane he ever flew.
Yep. Rick's a real smart guy and willing to share things. And it's such a neat project. And I'm just proud of the guys that put the newsletter together. I thought they did a great job. Tom Morris with another good article and a lot of good monthly reports from, well, quarterly reports, I guess. So yeah, it's getting there. We're trying to figure out how big we can make it and afford it. And the biggest issue is postage. It can eat you up real quick, especially at $40 a year for dues. So I hope you're enjoying it. I've spoken to a couple of people in the last week who I guess the word complaint is okay. Complain to me that they're not getting things that I'm putting out for all Pampa members. And I'm finding out that actually they did get them and found them when they looked for them. So I have no problem trying to fix problems as long as there is a problem. If there isn't, it's hard to fix. So just be careful when you're looking through your inbox. Every once in a while, I'll get something in my spam. I have no idea how it gets there, but I look at it about every 2 days. I'll tell you a little bit, Charles, if I can, about 8 hours of my day today. And I'm just very fortunate, like some of you are, to live near someone who's so willing to show what he does. So I was up with my dear friend, Bob Hunt.
Oh, nice.
And I actually went up there to ask him his thoughts about modifying a kit that I have, changing it from glow to electric. And the more we talked about it, we ended up just designing a brand new airplane, which is a profile. And it's really based on a design he did, oh boy, 70s or 80s, an airplane called a Prowler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And to watch him work, and he, he's very humble, but I watch everything that he does unless he makes me do things, and then I have to pay attention to that. But one of the interesting things he's doing now is when sheeting wings, he's using harder stock 16th-inch balsa that you normally would not use when sheeting a wing because it's heavier than the 4 or 5 pound. But he has a planer, and he's taking it down from 1/16 to a much smaller dimension. And it turns out that when you do that, that wood accepts less finishing material. It's a tighter grain.
Mm-hmm.
So you're losing absolutely, you're not gaining any weight whatsoever. You actually have a harder skin. And he said this is really good if you have a plane or access to one, because you're not going to spend as much for the 4 or 5 pound. And it's just neat watching them work. Um, we got the cores cut today. Uh, we got the fuselage done as far as the profile. I'm going to do some of the things at home. I'm not entering this in a contest, so I really don't care about builder of the model. It's just a plane for me to get back my hands and my whatever skill I have before I start flying P-47s and things like that. But
Good.
and it's also the key to growing this hobby. When you can bring someone in your shop
Yeah.
and you don't mind spending that kind of time, just like, John just did with his plans. That's how you grow a hobby.
Yeah.
If you enjoy the hobby and don't grow it, you're going to be one of the markers in the cemetery and there won't be many people around you. So a lot of good things are going on in Pampa. A lot of good things going on in the world. I think we may have 2 tabulators,
Oh, great.
which is awesome. And that'll finalize that team. And just as I say each time, if you're a Pampa member and you have some thoughts, get a hold of me. I'm really easy to deal with, I think. I deal with me all the time. But it still goes back to this. There are probably, I'm guessing, 4 times the amount of volunteers at the Worlds than there will be pilots. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, it's cool as long as you find people who can volunteer.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you were talking about fans, spectators.
Oh, no. I'm talking about volunteers.
Okay. I was thinking of fans.
That's what it takes. So if competition breeds new items and excitement, which it does mean everyone has to be a competitive pilot. But if you want the hobby to grow with new ideas, there's no better way than having contests. But I'm telling you, we're going to lose contests because of lack of volunteers quicker than we are for lack of pilots. And that would be a real shame.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to park your airplane. You just got to say, you know what? For this contest this year, I'm going to park it. I'm going to pay back all the other guys who've been doing this for all these years. Look at a guy like Jim Hoffman. He runs VSC every year, and he volunteered to be one of my circle managers for the Worlds.
Right.
He doesn't live next door to Muncie.
Right.
He just knows, someone's got to do this stuff. And the other one is John, who's the last 3 years CD at the Nats, and he's staying for the second full week so he can work at the Worlds. Yeah. So I'm just reaching out to all of you. It takes both. It takes a pilot and all the skill and time and money you have in your project, and then it takes people willing to not fly and judge you, or be a circle person, or do a tabulation. At some point, you got to be a little giving. Okay. So when you get the chance, help out, whatever it is. It's tough at the Worlds. There are a lot of us that are going to be there 16 days. That's a long time. That's a lot of money. So, not everyone can do that. But if you can get more involved locally, regionally, we'd all appreciate it. Anyone who flies in a contest would appreciate it. So off my soapbox and back to more interesting things. Thanks, John. Charles.
Thank you. And let me welcome Sparky. Hey, Sparky, how you doing? And then next I'll bring in Bob Whitley.
Pretty good. I got my first tank completed with the EPON 862 and the tetralethal, whatever the hell it is. Here's
Looks
this.
nice.
Oh, it looks nice.
Boy, it looks good.
Sharp corners, cut yourself.
Yeah,
That looks hard to believe you made that in your home there, Sparky.
yeah, it's super nice. So I got this other one, but it's made with the wrong epoxy. This is and John made a statement to me today when I was showing this. You see how these tubes come out the front here?
Right?
Well, this one's fine, but this would work in my airplane, but most people's it wouldn't work in their airplane because the motor, it would hit the motor. So that's why I moved the second tank to both like CAS, so they both come out the bottom there.
Yeah.
But these are
Nice.
6 ounce tanks. They weigh 1 ounce.
Wow.
Can't beat
Nice and light.
I got one in the mold right now. In the morning, I'll crack it out and lay up another one and put another tank together. I intend to have a whole pile of them.
Very nice.
We'll get the spinner soon too. I want to, if anybody that looks for light parts, Medusa was the lightest spinner you could get. I think it was 4 grams, or it was ridiculously light. I'm gonna try that with that mold. I think I can do the same thing, use the same material and get a 6 gram spinner.
It's cutting the weight down.
Yep. Well, the metal tank weighs 2.5 ounces. That's the same size as that, so it takes 1.5 ounces off the nose.
Wow.
Now, it doesn't make sense to get a carbon fiber tank and take 1.5 ounces off, and then add 2 ounces of lead in the nose to balance the airplane. So
Right.
you better be sure that you can build it light enough that you can use that tank.
Right. Hey, we just got a super chat from Colin McCallum. $10. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yay.
Absolutely. And Colin, I know you've done this several times before. I appreciate it. And Spark and I both would like other people to help too. It'd be great if everybody would contribute. Not all the time, but everybody participate. But we definitely appreciate our regular contributors, the people who are our bellwether patrons. We appreciate you immensely.
I'm sorry, that exclamation was because I hooked the ground wire up to the power.
Got electrocuted?
Hey, Howard, well, this tetramethyl, whatever the heck this shit is, this 3234 Epicure, will that work in the HTR 250 and give it the same properties?
What? I don't know. What's HTR 250?
High temp resin, 250-degree resin.
Oh,
From Resin Services.
I don't know about that. All I know is that that 862 with that Epicure hard will work for tanks. It's
It comes. Let me show you this. It comes in.
1 second. Make it big here.
It comes in a glass bottle, and it comes in its own little protective case.
Wow, look at that.
Well, this is $100 right here for this.
Don't drop it.
Medicine.
Tennessee.
Nitromethane. Huh?
What is that?
This is a Epicure 3234.
Okay, yeah. That with the 862 will make good tanks.
Yeah.
But I don't know about using it with anything else. Or
then I got the EPON 862.
yeah, okay, you're in business.
Yeah. So, when I make these, I want them to last. So I'm glad that you told what exactly I needed.
Yeah, that's what So they got
Unless the manufacturer specifically tells you that you can mix and match stuff.
Now, Danny's doing it already. He's mixing different hardeners with different and getting some weird, good results. So
whatever, I would not recommend it.
Yeah. Danny's an experimenter. But we didn't know whether it would, that tetramethyl, whatever you call that crap, would work with a 250. Because I
don't know.
I think that's the only difference is that hardener. And because the resin seems to be the same viscosity, same smell.
Don't.
That's funny. Same smell. Love it.
There's not a whole lot of smell to it.
Mm.
You know, Sparky, I'm really enjoying this series you're doing because I've watched the windy ones on making the tanks before, and they're popping up on YouTube all over the place again, possibly because of you're doing it. And at some point, I need to make a carbon fiber spinner for my great big Spitfire model. And it's well worth the dollars using the techniques and stuff that you and Wendy have done, because buying one from England is the only source. Is 295 British pounds plus shipping.
Blimey.
Let me show
So
you
I can afford to do a lot of failures.
this, and I'll give you an alternative.
Wow.
That's just for the shipping, Bob?
No, it's 295 pounds for the spinner. I presume that includes the back plate, but I'll just have Paul make an aluminum one when I get around to it. But plus whatever shipping from England. So
plus the shipping?
Yeah, 295 pounds plus shipping.
Bob, let me tell you how I would do that spinner. You see this rubber plug here? This is some type of, I don't know, Mold Max sells the same stuff here. But I would, carve your spinner and sand it real good. This is a piece of machined aluminum. This would be ridiculously expensive to have done. What I would do is make your spinner the size that you want to be, and then get some dental wax, 10,000 dental wax, and put that over the top of this and set it on a board like that. Make a box around it and get that, it's in the garage, that same resin that we poured. It's sold by Resin Services to make, it's Alumilite mold making material. Pour that in there and then pull that out, and then make a rubber plug out of that, do the reverse option, pour some of that Mold Max in there, and then you'd have a mold just like this, and it wouldn't cost you but $100.
Yeah, that's about what I was thinking. I've already made the plug, master plug. I carved that on my lathe, and it's dead accurate. But yeah, that's kind of the same idea. I was wondering about a solid female mold or using a silicone mold.
You got to use solid so you can have pressure on this to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Resin out of it, but I think this would. This is whoever made this. I can't remember the guy's name that made these for Wendy. They did a super job. This would be very expensive to have done.
Yeah, I figure I can do a lot of experimenting for just about $500.
Yeah, this is super slick. It's just like them tank molds, super slick.
Yeah,
but you can do the same thing with that Alumilite. I'll give you the number. If you remind me, next week Friday I'll try to come back and bring that can in the house. It's in the garage.
Oh, that'd be great. Or maybe I'll PM you or whatever. Yeah, that'd be fantastic, Sparky.
They're in Michigan, so they're close to Canada.
Yeah, it's only about 1,000 miles from me. Give or take.
That's closer than Texas.
Yeah. But yeah, Sparky, thanks for doing this. Going back into doing your carbon fiber stuff, because I remember back in years past when you were doing landing gear and whatnot. That was really a great thing to see.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it, you know. I'm no
Well, that's what we all do, and it's fantastic.
Danny's my go-to expert. Whatever he says, I do that, and the results speak for themselves. I mean, it come out great.
Yep.
Very
But
nice.
you did those landing gears several years back, and you know, that was simple and effective.
Yeah, I'm gonna revisit that. I'm gonna carve a set of gear and make a good mold and a compression mold, male and female, so I can clamp it.
And for the guys who haven't watched, Danny was doing over the past week a really good video on using the more simpler composite materials for doing wheel pant molds and things like that.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me some of that stuff. That's DTO 81.
That's that filler stuff that he uses to build it up.
Yeah, the peanut butter.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what he's doing with that, you can use whatever cheap resin.
Right. You could use AutoZone polyester resin for that.
Anything, yeah. It's really you know, down to basics, good stuff. I mean, wheel pants, you don't need high temp everything for that.
I mean, for the mold, I would use good resin on the wheel pants themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But for making a mold, if you're not going to be oven curing the mold itself, why spend the big bucks?
You could use Bondo.
Yeah.
I've done that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So you been doing any flying, Bob, or?
We've been socked in all week. It's been god awful weather. Winds have been low, but it's been down to, you know, 400 or 500 foot ceilings. At best, maybe about 1,800 feet. So yeah, it's pretty much sucked. It's supposed to start improving on Sunday, so we'll see. But so I've been doing a bunch of stuff in the shop, not building models, but I've been rearranging things and starting in on overhauling my bandsaw and stuff like that. So getting a plan in order of what models to put on the bench and get them finished. So nothing seriously productive from a model side, but in the long term, probably good. And I've got some real woodworking stuff to do for customers too, because, you know, with the crappy weather we've had, the dollar signs aren't all that good coming in. So I'm going to do a little bit of cabinet making stuff that I've sort of had on the back burner for a while, making some doors and drawer fronts and things like that. But yeah, all is good. Downside is, you know, I've got another funeral coming up from an old friend, but who was only 47.
Wow.
But
Oh wow!
You know, stuff happens.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, it was a great spark of refreshment getting that mailing tube from you, Ed, and you know that perked up a sad day. So
glad that showed up then at the right time.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to maybe getting that educational project going with the school for model airplane building and you know, just aviation knowledge period, and possibly even shop projects with them otherwise. So and I've got thousands of aircraft magazines, full-size aircraft magazines that have been from deceased people that I've known, and I've been trying to find a home for them other in the landfill. And I'm thinking getting them into the public schools might be a good thing. Just donate them all and package them up in bundles and let the kids go through them and do what they will with them. Because I just hate stuff like that going into a landfill, even if it's used for cut-ups for posters in their bedroom walls. At least it's inspiration.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much been what's going on in my life. I've been gearing up a lot for the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. I've got two major activities on the go with the Veterans Care Center here, as well as all the other stuff. No, we quit building them. We called them Canucks way back when.
Oh,
Well, we built a whole bunch for you and started your first training camp in Texas, actually, in 1917.
uh-huh.
But yeah, no, we're not building Jennies anymore, unfortunately. Just going into those F-35 things. But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy year for me because I'm volunteered to build a lot of the props and accessories and stuff for the 100th anniversary stuff. And maybe looking forward to you guys doing it in 2049 for your 100th. And we're all in it together. Yeah, I think it was 49, wasn't it, when the U.S. Air Force was founded?
I thought it was 40.
Or 47?
47.
47, yeah. That's not that far away. So let's work together on it. But yeah, so I'm going to do a bunch of the props. We're planning a really big activity. Well, I got a big formal dinner coming up on the 13th of April, but numerous other activities. But in celebration of the Battle of Britain, which was the major air battle of the Second World War, we celebrate it every year in somewhat grand fashion. But this year, it happens to fall on the actual day. 15th of September in 1940 was a Sunday, and we're planning a big gala event with reproduction with actors and everything of the actual plotting tables that they were assigning by the hour or by the minute for intercepting the Luftwaffe. So one of my local suppliers is donating all the materials, and I'm building all the woodworks for it. And we're having a gala event for that with uniforms, period uniforms and everything. I'm bringing in my big Spitfire model and a couple other ones, and I'm going to push all the Radio Control Club guys to loan various Spitfires and Hurricanes and Messerschmitts and whatnot for it, and try and make it into one huge event. So maybe I can get some videos or posters of it and put it on Stunt Hangar too, because it's a major event in history. So I'm gearing up a lot for that. So that'll interfere with my model building, but realistically, I don't really need any more models. I've got a lot to get me by right now, ready to go. So anyway, that's what's been happening in Bob Whitley's life. And Mark, are you still here?
I am.
Yeah, I got my first issue in 46 years of Pampa newsletter today.
I hope it wasn't a 46-year-old newsletter.
No, it's a brand new one. But could I ask a little favor? There was no addy information of the editor on it. I'm still being referred to by one of my most revered people as Mr. Whiteley. And you get the spelling corrected. But man, I appreciated getting that today. It just really perked up my day.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, and those little things mean a lot.
Yes, they do. Thank you.
So thanks again. And whoever's doing the newsletter, I should have dug out one of my old ones from 1978 or 79 here and showing it tonight, the difference between the mimeographed and the new one.
The alligators.
Yeah.
The blue smears and everything on the old ones.
Yeah, that's Lanny Short's son, David, is the honcho on that.
Good.
And,
give him some kudos.
He really does a nice job with a tight budget. We're not in the magazine business, but it's an important part of the value proposition that we give to Pampa members. So,
much appreciated. Let them know.
Yeah.
Pat them on the back.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So anyway, that's all the news I've got. Not a whole lot, but the only other thing is I'm overhauling my old bandsaw finally. I went to put a bigger blade in it, and I couldn't get the back roller to retract, so I figured those are seized up, and I looked at the tires on it and thought those are probably the original ones from the mid 1960s, hard as rocks. They still track and everything, but I got a new set of urethane ones here, so I guess it's high time to overhaul the old Beaver bandsaw. It served me well.
Well, when you cut your carbon fiber, make sure you use an old blade because it'll knock the crap off out of the bandsaw blade.
Oh, I know that. I've actually cut up a fair bit of carbon fiber over the years, and yeah, it's nasty on regular blades. When I do it, I try to use my table saw with a fine tooth blade that I just a couple of them that I've got just set aside for metal cutting for aluminum and whatnot. Then I don't really give a damn about the blade. On solid, it's good, but I found with tubing carbon fiber, it tends to splinter it. So on that, I definitely use the bandsaw because of the vertical cut.
You still got a Beaver bandsaw that works?
Oh, it works perfectly. Yep. I got a Beaver lathe also, and it works just fine.
The last one of those I saw was in a museum. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, they were made in Guelph, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
Back in the 1960s, maybe the early 70s. The only thing I really need on it that it's still working, but what I should replace is the spring, and I don't know where I'm going to find haven't researched it yet to find a replacement spring for it, for the tensioner. Everything else just working great. And I got it free along with my original 10-inch Delta Unisaw and my lathe, and parts washer, and a whole bunch of metal forming tools and shears and stuff. Got them free from a school that I volunteered at, and they were the old stuff, and they got new stuff, so they gave them to me.
Are any interest in how to cut carbon fiber?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
I'm interested.
Use a diamond saw blade.
Yep.
Get those for table saw, but if you want something cheaper, just get an abrasive wheel or a abrasive cutoff blade like you use for cutting metal. That'll do it. But for a scroll saw, you can get little diamond scroll saw blades. It costs about $10, and they do. Get them from Amazon.
Amazon.
Okay, I'll look into that, Howard. I also have my metal cutting bandsaw, but I haven't tried it on carbon yet.
I think the Amazon lady's getting tired of delivering here. She comes here every day.
People are going to think you got something going with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hardly ever use my scroll saw now. I got my original Dremel from back in the early 70s, and then I've got a fancier one, kind of like yours, Sparky. And it was kind of odd. I'm kind of cheap on buying stuff. And this was sitting in an antique store, and there really wasn't anything wrong with it. I was able to put a new bellows on it and a tensioner from King Canada Tools, which are China. And it's working great. I got it for $50.
I just ripped the bellows off mine. I think got that little snorkel thing got in the way. Forget it, just blow on it.
Yeah, well, I find I don't really care about using it anyway. I've got it raised right up, but and the tensioner off. But I mean, it was about $150, $200 for the same thing buying new. This thing had barely been used, I think, and it was sitting in an antique store for $50, so I couldn't resist it.
Well, I have another one in the garage, but this is a 16-inch Ryobi, and I think I probably paid about $80 15 years ago. I don't know what they are now, but with inflation, it could be 200 something.
Yeah, it's about what they are. Yeah.
And that one works fine, so I ain't gonna worry about it.
But with the bandsaw, I hardly ever use my scroll saw.
Yeah, I got my bandsaw is a Ryobi, the one I got here, and then I got a deep bandsaw in the garage for cabinet stuff. I don't know, about 13, 14-inch deep.
Probably 14, yeah. That's what mine is 14. Yeah, full-size ones.
Yeah, but the one up here isn't that deep.
And, for sanders, I've got my old Delta 4-inch disc by 4-inch by 36-inch belt. And since I picked up the two rigid edge sanders, I've got one as an oscillating edge sander and one as a drum sander. I never use that for woodworking anymore, so I put metal sanding discs and belts on it. and they last forever doing metal versus wearing them out real quick if you got wood ones on it doing music wire or whatever. And man, that works fantastic in my little shop, just for metal work.
Well, Santa Claus brought me a 12-inch disc sander this year, and I love it, man.
Oh yeah, they're great, aren't they? I should set one up. I've got numerous electric motors around. It'd be bugger all to make one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's no end to the tools that you can use, but you don't have to go whole hog nutsoid spending on them either. Just look around and find good use stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey Gary, you was awake a minute ago. I had someone in the chat box ask, "Is Gary okay?" I did not have a chance to. So RBB Gary is okay. That's who asked. RBB.
That's funny.
Is Gary?
So we don't have as many people as normal on a Friday night.
Well, Dennis Adamson's traveling for one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know what's going on with Dennis. Yeah, it comes and goes. Mondays sometimes are on par with Fridays, and it's cyclical. Everybody sometimes has things to do.
Yeah, I saw a lot of nice VSC postings.
I have not. I was hoping that someone would come in to give us a VSC report. I have.
Sorry, we've had a whole bunch on our site, but I got to learn how to post stuff so that I can contribute to this.
Yeah, I'm curious about VSC. I guess I go on the Stunt Hangar forum and find out, but I just haven't been there except for to post a link for the show for a long time. So
yeah. Well, are you a member of our site, Charles?
I believe so. The Alberta site.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch on there on it.
But I haven't been there either, or Control Line Flying or.
Okay, that's your assignment in the next 5 minutes. Go in there and repost it.
Yeah, I have not been up there.
Kidding.
Yeah. Just, I'm busy with my wife and kids. So, and I fly and all kinds of stuff going on. So
cool.
I did go flying today and yesterday by myself with the Stooge and today with a couple of guys. So.
Well, on our Friday morning get together that we do just about every week. Well, they do it every week. We didn't have very many, about half a dozen or so of us there today compared to the normal 15, dozen to 20, because we just had crap weather for the roads and stuff. And some people just didn't want to drive out.
Right. Yeah. It's probably better safe than sorry, Yeah. Well, I think we're all caught up. So I'm going to end the live stream. We can continue on in the after party. I want to thank everybody for coming in and appreciate Colin McCallum for his $10 super chat. Appreciate that very much. And hope you have a chance to do some work this weekend on your planes or go flying and come back and tell us all about it Monday. So until then, fair winds.